$2.1 trillion. That is the market cap added to just 3 companies in the last 18 months, while the bottom 50% saw their real purchasing power contract by 4%. The math of wealth has been rewritten, and most people are still using a calculator from 1990. I'm Alex. This is Beyond the Model, where we decode the AI revolution reshaping your world. Last week we looked at the algorithmic wealth gap and why you can't outwork an AI, but today we go deeper into the engine itself. By the end of this video, you will understand why saving is a trap and how the new compound interest functions as a weapon of extraction rather than a tool for growth. What we are witnessing right now is a fundamental break in the historical relationship between labor, time, and money. For a century, the middle-class miracle was built on the idea that if you traded your time for a salary and tucked a portion away, compound interest would eventually grant you freedom. But in the last 24 months, the speed of technological compounding has hit a vertical wall. While your bank offers 4% annually, AI-driven capital is compounding at rates that defy traditional physics. We have entered the era of the compute standard, where wealth is no longer generated by human effort, but by the ownership of silicon and data. The foundation of this shift lies in the massive GPU clusters currently being built by the tech giants. These aren't just server farms, they are the new oil wells of the 21st century. Companies like NVIDIAâ, Microsoft, and Alphabet aren't just selling products, they are hoarding the infrastructure of intelligence. In previous industrial revolutions, the benefits of productivity gains eventually trickled down to labor through higher wages. But here's what nobody tells you: in the AI era, productivity is being decoupled from human labor entirely. The gains are being captured at the source, by the owners of the models, leaving the worker with a shrinking slice of an expanding pie. The part they don't show you in the headlines is how this creates a winner-take-all compounding loop that is virtually impossible to break. Think of it as the Matthew effect on steroids: to those who have compute, more shall be given. If you own the model that automates 1,000 jobs, your wealth doesn't grow linearly, it grows exponentially based on the efficiency of the algorithm. Meanwhile, the people whose jobs were automated see their compounding potential vanish. They are no longer saving, they are surviving. This isn't just a trend, it's a structural realignment of the global economy that is happening while we sleep. Everything I just told you is accurate. But there's a dimension to this story that almost no one in the media covers. We aren't just seeing money compound, we are seeing intelligence compound. When an AI model gets better, it helps build the next version of itself faster. This creates a feedback loop where the cost of intelligence drops to near zero for the owners, while the value of human-only labor stays stagnant. This is that intelligence interest, a dividend paid only to those who own the digital means of production. If you are outside that loop, you aren't just falling behind, you are being mathematically excluded from the future. This exclusion is powered by systems like BlackRockâ Aladdin, an algorithmic platform that manages over $21 trillion in assets. It uses AI to spot market inefficiencies and front-run human traders before they even realize an opportunity exists. Here's the thing that keeps AI researchers up at night: the gap is becoming so wide that it may soon be physically impossible to catch up. When a company can iterate its strategy 10,000 times in a second using synthetic data, a human-led competitor is essentially standing still. We are moving toward a world where the only way to build wealth is to own a piece of the machine itself. Nuance is often lost in the noise, but the reality is that data has become the new interest rate. Every time you use a free AI tool, you are paying a data tax that helps the model's owners compound their advantage. They get your insights, your patterns, and your edge, which they then sell back to you as a premium service. This extractive compounding is the hidden tax on the digital working class. It's a silent drain on your future potential, redirected into the balance sheets of the trillion-dollar platforms. The barrier to entry into the compounding class is also rising. A decade ago, you could start a software company in a garage with a laptop. Today, to compete at the frontier, you need $1 billion in compute credits. This is the compute threshold. It ensures that the rewards of the AI revolution remain concentrated in a few hands. The implications for the next 5 to 10 years are stark: a permanent divergence where the top 0.1% own the global operating system, and the rest of us are simply subscribers to our own lives. So, what do you actually do? This week, you must audit your relationship with labor. If your only source of income is tied to your hours worked, you are on the losing side of the math. You need to pivot toward asset ownership, specifically assets that benefit from algorithmic efficiency. This might mean shifting your portfolio toward infrastructure providers, learning to build on top of open-source models to create your own microequities, or demanding equity over salary in your career negotiations. The goal is to move from being a user of the model to an owner of the value it creates. We are at a crossroads. The ladder of social mobility isn't just being pulled up, it's being digitized and encrypted. But understanding the math is the first step to breaking the lock. The future belongs to those who own the engines of intelligence, not those who merely fuel them with their time. 3 things to take from today. First, traditional interest is dead. Wealth now compounds through algorithmic extraction and compute ownership. Second, the gap between labor and capital is widening because code doesn't sleep or ask for raises. Third, the only way to survive is to pivot from being a user of the model to an owner of the assets that power it. Remember that $2.1 trillion figure? Here's what that actually means. The ladder isn't just being pulled up, it's being digitized and locked behind a paywall you can't afford. Next video on Beyond the Model: how governments are scrambling to regulate AI, and failing. If this changed how you see what's coming, subscribe. We're just getting started.